Okay, time is currently 4:01. I call the meeting to order. Let's do, roll call.
Julie Hall.
Michael Cornelia.
Corey Griffiths.
Robin Kissel, and I see that Christopher Webb is online. Can you hear us, Chris?
Lou.
He's with us in spirit.
Yeah, saying, but.
Chris, can you hear us?
Okay, he is on,
Can you hear me?
there he is.
We got you.
That's good. And of course, Sky and Sean are here as well.
Johnny, you can come over here.
So, for roll call check, approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
Second. All in favor?
Can you hear-
Yeah, here.
Aye.
All in favor, sounds like somebody else turned in. Okay,
It's pizza.
so at this time, we'll do public comments for non-agenda topics. Do we have any speakers? You have 5 minutes in which to speak.
I do.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, I just have a question. When was this meeting posted? Was it on Next Door Neighbors or Neighborly Forest Lakes? I just happened to see it now as I got my mail. And you've got 2 people at this meeting, very important meeting, out of how many residents? That's pretty sad.
it did go out on public announcements. It's posted on the calendar. It's posted on our website. It is posted as required. So we are following, that's a good question, Liz, but we are following protocol.
I know, but I don't sit and check the website every day. How would I know about this?
Great.
Why wasn't it posted on social media like
It just came.
normal?
We just got this information and started the process for the meeting on Wednesday. We just got the information, so this is just a discussion type meeting as to the steps that we can take. We won't be coming up with any final decisions or anything today.
But
So,
you see what I'm
just,
saying, though?
I agree. Not everybody knows about it. Not everybody checks their emails. You hope that maybe they see it.
Wasn't on an email. Okay, well, anyway, I'm here and I think it was, it needs to be posted on some sort of social media because most people don't go to the website to check.
We do. Forest Lakes does not have an official social media presence. We use our official resources, which is the website and the communication that we have available. And again, it would be nice, this is just an informational meeting, short, very short notice. No major decisions are gonna be done tonight. So.
Okay, thank you.
Over the 24-hour, yeah, definitely. And thank you, but, yeah. So, yes, we do not have a social presence. Okay, good. Anyone else with public comments? Okay, and this will probably, I'm very sure, be discussed at our board meeting. So everyone will be informed as to what's going on as well during that meeting. So we just wanted to have this special meeting so that we can move forward in resolving it. No other public comments at this time? Okay, discussion items, and we actually have information from you, Guy, about the process and.
So, yeah, I've attached some documents for your review. It's the CPS HR consultant contract you had signed a couple of years ago, but you've used it twice. One was to to find my predecessor, and then that didn't take, you kind of got the freebie with me. The current general manager job description is approved by this board, and the current contract that's in force with your current manager. I want to say real quick to the board, you have a staff in place right now that can handle the day-to-day of this place and function well. So I don't want you concerned that if, when I leave, the whole place falls. The day-to-day operations are going to be handled well. Handling of the money will be done correctly. Handling of bill paying and all those things are now routine. And when I first got here, it almost was like every time we did something, it was brand new. Now they're functional and routine. Your staff is doing the work they need to do. They have a budget in place that they're following. So you have a luxury, I guess, of having a staff that's keeping the balls in the air. What I do not want to have happen, what I want you to be cognizant of, is I don't want you to say, well, let's make Sean the interim. And then it just kind of slips, and 6 months later, you're kind of in the same place. That's not something that I think the staff. Okay? And that is not competency, that's experience. Okay? So no offense to you.
No, not taken.
And no offense to any of this stuff. It's just experience. So when you're looking at this, you have a couple ways to do this. One is you can place an ad. One is you can bring on a consultant. One is you can get an interim. Somebody I might recommend is Leslie Kushmeyer, I think, who also does or the lady who did grant work for you guys a year and a half ago. She does interim work and headhunts. So she can kind of do it all at once. She lives in Alamosa, I believe. That's an option. Another option would be to contact DOLA and say, is there anybody in the area or in the state who would do interim work and headhunt? Just understand that that's expensive, because anybody who happens to be traveling here is going to need the hotel room. They're going to be reimbursed for gas. They're going to get theirs hourly, all those things. So, nobody does this stuff for free. So and I know, I don't know about the Special Districts Association. I know the state municipal league and the state managers association has lists of interims, but for this particular work, I would reach out to the Special Districts Association. So I think that's the prism I kind of want you to look at this issue. It's different than when you hired me. The staff is different, how they operate is different, what they're doing is different, their professionalism is different. It's all better. So I just keep that in mind. You don't have to take the first thing that comes into fold. On the other hand, you guys do need to fill a position.
Yes.
I did check the SDA site and ask them about this, and they have a classified section. We can post the job description out there, so we could get that out like soon, Monday, even.
So
Again,
I will say one thing about websites in general. For this particular type of work, that is a great website, and you're a member, so I don't think it costs anything. ICMA, I'm not sure I would put it on, but you may. That gets a lot of city county managers. City county manager. But that will cost you. I would avoid the Indeeds. I would avoid the monster.coms. Nobody with my background looks for jobs there. We just don't. We are looking more on the professional associations or LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you do get a lot of, because of its networking, you do get a lot of stuff coming into your view that's like, oh, I never realized that. But I think doing Indeed, stuff like that, you're not necessarily going to get the big.
I searched on Indeed and there's nothing out there. And LinkedIn, I didn't find anything either.
I get 10 a day on LinkedIn.
This company does in LinkedIn, so,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it depends on
And
how it's done.
But you realize these companies are going to post in the exact same places.
Yeah.
So
They said that they would post on the SDA site, but their timeline in this document is months. We don't have time for that.
Have
That's
you
fine.
actually had a chance to look at the job description and does it meet what you're actually doing? Do we need to
I have
edit
not come
that?
back.
We might want to do that before we, just to confirm that.
When I
we're all-
got here, I looked at it, it was,
Okay,
it is what a manager.
okay. So at the time, it was good and not much has changed since then. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think if we can get this posted with SDA and see what they have to do is probably a good idea. Do you have any other suggestions that?
No, but well, I do. When you're posting this, make sure that you get across that there's a functioning staff. There's a staff, a senior staff in place that has gone through a significant amount of training, understands their work and is confident. That's because I've seen ads where it's, we're blowing the whole thing up, starting over. I've seen ads where like, don't touch our staff. I think if it comes from a board that says, we have a good staff in place and we're looking for a team leader, that's a lot better than, simply maybe calling down here and it's like, oh, Forest Lakes is a mess, because it's not. It's not a mess. And you kind of have to defeat that.
Here, I thought, because it's not been a year since we had these interviews. You only get out one other person. Could approach the runner-up and see if he was still interested.
I don't agree. He was not. He didn't have the,
He had the operational side, I think.
yeah, he didn't have the budget side.
But yeah, the internal, administrative side was not his strong point. That's not to say he couldn't do it, it's just that I didn't feel like it was real
Since
strong.
has fixed a lot of those issues.
But he also is not political. He's not, I don't know what kind of word I need to say, but he's not adept at talking to people in the proper way. I mean, he told us, I just tell you what it is and if you don't do it, blah, 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 and I didn't like that at all. He's gotta have some savvy. Guy knows how to talk to different groups of people.
That's true, I remember that interview too.
We,
Okay. Interject here real quick. Be careful about what you're saying in a public meeting that you have a discussion about executive session.
Yeah.
Just a second.
I think getting a new, and if he's interested still.
you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, hey, sorry. I was just wondering if it would be worth it to maybe even try it, just an ad in the Herald. I don't know, maybe there's a retiree that's done this line of work that lives around that might want to come out of retirement or just test the waters around for someone local.
Yeah, I think putting it in the paper is a good idea too.
You're suggesting like in the Durango Herald?
So
Think her.
Hey, can you,
Sorry.
type your messages and we can read them?
You're coming in really choppy, so maybe put the phone up in the windshield or something. Get a better signal.
your hand doesn't move.
I agree, and that's what I thought is, going into this, like trying to find local individuals who can take this ball and roll with it. I think for Forest Lakes, like we've thrived when we've had local individuals in the past. Maybe, like, I think that's a good option, maybe just, like you said, you don't know who's in the area. You don't know who's come to the area, you don't know. And like, that gentleman as well, like get him back in here if he's still interested. Let's hear what a year has done,
He could have changed.
Yeah, and I think that local aspect for Forest Lakes especially is really important. I think this man was the right man at the moment, for sure. And there's no doubt about that with me. I think going forward, we need local investment.
Yeah, I don't want to do an out-of-stater.
Yeah.
That didn't go well.
And you may also, create a list.
Yeah.
Who's the manager Silverton? Who's the deputy in Durango? Send them emails. Hey, are you interested? It's a local person that you don't have to drive so far. That may be a hit. You may have to get a little creative to get it in front of people. Because they may not be looking for a job, but if it shows up in their inbox, they may think,
It's getting expensive.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what CPS or CPS does. They contact people that are not looking for jobs.
Sometimes
Yeah, that's what it contract says, but
sometimes consultants actually, sometimes they don't.
Test the local water, see if maybe we can find someone that retired from similar right over.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement about putting it in the paper and seeing what's available outside of.
I think Colorado is probably a good thing over out of state because we do have some quirks with taper and all those things. But I wouldn't get so hung up. I think it's good to look locally. I wouldn't get hung up on that being a crux. I would say if that works, that works. I would get more hung up on in-state versus out-of-state, I think, just because of some of the peculiarities of the state statute.
I agree. In-state would be my preferred versus out-of-state.
Yeah, I know, when I went and interviewed out of state in other places, they tell me about stuff, I'm like, okay.
yeah, but
Still
you could
sense.
have somebody from New Mexico, Arizona. So many people have been let go recently in all these jobs, companies, and we don't know who's out there.
Plus somebody with a little experience from out of state that has municipal or special district experience is gonna be able to pick up stuff. Everybody can learn. So,
Now, can I go back to posting on the SCA? Shauna would have to gather those resumes. I don't think it's gonna be a big flux of resumes, but that's okay with you? Okay, until we decide who's gonna be doing the recruiting. Then we can take it down and then they could post it back up there again or something.
I will take whatever direction you guys get. But like I said, I don't have the experience
Right.
to be an interim manager.
Yeah.
I will pick up slack in the meantime. I will do whatever you guys ask. And I'm here for Forest Lakes, but I don't have the experience to be your interim manager.
and I talked to Paul 2 nights ago. And I told him that, he can't be the manager either, but I said, you're gonna have to step up and be a little more of an activist attorney. You're gonna have to pick up those little pieces of slack as well. And so he understood that.
And isn't there like a section that we pick up as well? A little bit, as far as like upper management, leadership, stuff like that?
Well, I think more importantly, signatures. Signatures.
Okay, yeah.
So I think board president is gonna have to take over some of the signature responsibility that my position has had, which is it's nominal.
Yeah.
I'm not signing documents every day. I'm signing 4 or 5 documents a week. It's not like other places I work where it is 50 a day.
The stamp.
Big X.
So we could also post it in the Denver Gazette.
Denver Post,
Denver Post.
Denver Post.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked in the newspaper help wanted and haven't. It's just not where you can find
Oh, I
these
honestly think we're gonna be wasting our time with the Durango Herald.
Is that
I posted stuff in there and I've gotten 0 responses versus me posting it online.
I think we need to post it there as well, though.
pictures. Just for the local stuff.
Yeah, I think we need to probably do that as well. Because it's not that pricey.
All
to
my
do
honest
that.
opinion is you're just wasting your money.
It's not that pricey though in comparison to this.
It was pretty pricey. Not going through a consultant by no means, but I don't think you're gonna get what you want out of the Herald.
Like it gives you 3 lines or something like that, and it's like
And it's
$20
per word.
per word.
I don't know the charter off the top of my head, but we stopped.
Are we using the Herald now when we go to hire?
No, we do not.
How do we go hiring now? What
Indeed.
avenues do we do?
Indeed.
Indeed in our website.
Because that's the type of people who are looking for the type of jobs we're offering, go to Indeed and Monster.com and those types. And Indeed being probably the best one out of all those. But it's for the more executive class. There's other places that we look for our jobs.
Let's see.
And that's just the nature of the industry. It's not bias or anything. It's just, and like I haven't posted an ad or responded to an ad in a newspaper in a really, really long time. They went out of fashion a long time ago, just because they don't have anything about them. You know, everybody's given up on the printed word. They just don't have the circulation that they used to have. If somebody's gonna go online and find a job, they're gonna go online, look at the Durango paper, and then do Indeed and then Monster.com. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn is probably for this.
For this, LinkedIn and your associations.
The best kind of social media platform,
Would be LinkedIn.
social networking.
Okay. Well, let's get it out there.
And I have a whole lot of contacts, and people right now are posting on LinkedIn and then they share it out. So once it's out on LinkedIn, I can share it and say, hey, this is open. And then it'll get posted out to lots of different people, so.
And like I said, a lot of people nationwide, worldwide look at ICING too. City County Managers Association, but they're very similar. So you may think, I mean, maybe I can post it on there, I don't know. Sure. So that's another way to get it out.
What is ICMA?
International City County Managers Association.
And do y'all want me to go ahead and get it posted on the website?
Yeah, definitely our website, I think. That's a very good spot to get it as well. Get it out there anyway.
Because right now on the SDA site, they have the City of Colorado Springs District Manager listed and St. Vrain Sanitation District Manager. So they're out there.
There's a couple anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's get our name out there too, with us being a member. That should save us some money.
Applications. They should be emailed to us individually. They need to be,
Yes,
No,
to the office here.
Yeah.
and if you want to see them, you have to come down here and read them.
Yeah, to the office. I think I went through some of the resumes or something.
And you may want to post it as open until filled, first review is XYZ date.
Right.
And I think under state statute, I'm not sure about this, but I think you have to put a salary range. I think you have to post a salary range.
Should be, on the job posting or the job description?
About job posting. It's probably something you should look at. It's probably something you guys need to decide.
It's one or the other. I think you might be right. I think it's job posting.
So we'll look into that. But I think you guys do need to have you're gonna be placing that in hiring. It may be the same range that you had.
X, Y, and Z, or depending on experience.
The experience is an issue on this one, yes.
Well, if it's going on LinkedIn, that's a huge issue. Everybody is frustrated because jobs don't put the salary on there. And
Well, the first thing I do if I see that is I call them. This is how.
Yeah.
And if they say, well, I can't tell you, then I say, okay, what did the prior person make? Then they usually have to tell me. Because that's public. But it should all be public.
Well, we had quite a range on that one, so I'll have to look at that and see what we have.
I think it was like 120 to 144 or something.
Might be right. We still have a copy of that, that little pamphlet thing that they put together.
Yeah, with all the pictures and stuff on it.
They had to pay range on that.
It did that last packet they put together for us. I bet I can find it on Jamie's computer, or was it in a board packet?
I don't think it was in a.
I think it should be in like an old email.
Yeah.
Hey, you stepped on a duck.
So one question I have is, are we going to want to use CPS HR consulting? And if so, do we vote on that during the June 11th board meeting?
If you're gonna engage in it.
Yeah,
Anybody you're going to engage, so if it's Leslie or if it's a firm like this, you're gonna have to sign an engagement
mhm.
letter with them at the next meeting.
How would we get what Leslie's information is and if she's willing to do it and what her rates are and all that? Okay.
I email everybody.
Okay. Because honestly, you're leaving, the salary's gone, this person might fill in, the salary would be there, and then the next person comes in, so it could. I mean, I understand what you're saying, it could be expensive, but I don't wanna see us getting into another boat like we did before. And, 5 months down the road, we still don't have anybody. So,
So
110 to 145.
1 to 145.
That's not right.
Is that what you guys want to listen to?
I think so. I think, yeah. And,
Would you guys like
and
to
that's
write-
based upon experience,
Yeah.
yes.
it says DOE, depending on experience.
Would you guys like me to put together a pamphlet?
Yes, please.
So it would be, basically, it'd be a pamphlet like they put together. But I can do that. And then that will go on our website. And then when people are looking for information, like with CML, you hit a tab and that can take it to our website and document. So people can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can do
Appreciate
that and then I can slap that around you guys and just individually see what you think about it. You don't necessarily need to vote on it. But just get your feedback on it.
Can we use the money we should spend for a HR firm and increase the district manager salary instead?
Say again?
I don't know that you can actually do that, 'cause I think that's a different pot of money. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, right now, you don't have anything budgeted for the HR fund. So you wouldn't be switching anything in and out. It's a great talking check.
Yes,
I'll take
huge.
it.
It's huge.
It is, Chris, and that contract is 2 years old, so it's probably.
And
gonna
it
go
wasn't
up.
free, your position, we had to pay an additional 7,000 on top of the 25,000. So I mean, it was not a freebie to do it,
To do it again.
yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
But
So why don't,
And maybe it wouldn't hurt too, instead of going back to these guys, I'm sure they're not gonna give us another cheap freebie. A cheaper price.
but everybody almost has that. Or if somebody leaves been a year,
And then, of course, twice in a row.
maybe if they get the first and the second 25 out of you. They're not gonna give you a third free.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to go out for a RFP. Request for proposal for a new consultant.
I don't
Unless you
think
wanna
we,
stick with the same one.
I don't think we have to do that. They're out there. I searched for them. There's a Bradbury Group, Colorado Recruiting, Executive Firms, has a whole list of people that do exactly headhunting. So they're out there. It's gonna be like footwork to figure out, you know.
If I may request, if you guys are getting down to a short list, let me know so I know most of them.
Okay,
And I know who's better at this than others, who's got a better track record.
okay.
So there's a lot of good consulting firms out there. That's not an issue. There are some that aren't as good.
I don't think it's money. I don't think it's money, Chris. Is it money? It's location, isn't it?
It was the board.
It's the board? It was the board, Chris.
And these seats,
No, I don't think it's the money.
It's not the money, this one's more.
This was
sensitive
location.
matter. And the last one was,
citizen in another
we'll
way.
just leave it that way.
Yeah, it has not been the money on any of them, really. I think. Pretty sure. I
No, for me, it's not the money.
think it was.
It's, this is an opportunity to get 5 hours closer to family and stuff.
Absolutely. And, yeah.
Yeah, so at least we're not sensitive private matter.
What if we offered to let you work from home?
I don't think it works.
No.
Because I'm still gonna have to come back here.
Yeah.
And I'm still driving across the state of Colorado.
That's not you, Chris.
We need to play that song now. It's Robin, it's. Hey Liz, it's Robin.
Yeah.
Well, on the job description, one thing that I would really like to see, because it is super, super important, is have it as one of the first bullet as the most important thing in this entire district is the budget.
Yeah.
Because everything else and all the projects fall underneath the budget. Whoever is doing this needs to make sure that they really understand how to budget.
And
And
maybe
do
we
accounting.
can also add something regarding about our directors having responsibilities that they're competent. I don't know, there's something in there we can.
Yeah.
So that it's there.
Well, let me do this. I'll make an add up. I'll slip around you guys. And then once you guys are okay with that, then we can post that on ICMA, LinkedIn, and Special Districts Association
And our own.
and our website. I'll call Leslie and get her temperature and I'll report back to you guys via email. If there's something that comes up, we have to have another impromptu meeting, we'll do it. And if it's like, well, we're not comfortable with that, then in the June meeting or meeting between here and then we can look at getting together and issuing an RFP and making sure that's comfortable and stuff like
I think that's the way to go with
that. Issuing
it.
an RFP for headhunting.
So maybe under the desired qualifications, we have to say 5 years of budgetary management, or I don't know how you want to word it, but something in there
Does it say anything about it now?
at the end.
It does under job summary, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points down under.
Plans, developments, implements, maintains, that one?
Yeah. Or accounting degree preferable, or, I mean, do we want them to have all the experience of the wastewater and roads and maintenance, or is it more important for district management?
The district manager does not need to have this.
Yeah.
He needs to know of the process and, so he can help guide, but that's why you hire an ORC who has those certs that can report to the state and make sure we're in compliance. If you want a manager that has all of the certs and all of this, and
Yeah.
you ain't gonna find them, or you won't be able to afford them.
Yeah.
Or we'll get in the same trouble with the budget because they're familiar with that and not this.
the manager should be able to trust his employees. Hey, you give me this information, walk me through it, what's going on. The manager should have some type of understanding, but he's not your,
He's not the operation.
subject matter expert on this.
Yeah.
As to where the manager, that person's job is to get the subject experts and make them a team and make it work. You put too much on one person to have them do all that.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a really, really small town, then
It was probably able to do that back in the day, but now with this budget, with how big we're getting. Like you want, I don't know, like you said, I think we want that leader. That manager who can control or who has the right people in place.
Do they need to understand
strive
grant money and stuff like that?
keep it running.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to have experience working with grants and experience working with budgets. That's important, but you never want to fight the last war, right? What we're looking at is a generalist who can understand budgets, who can understand intergovernmental relations, who has a general idea of water and wastewater operations, and road operations and rec operations, because I hope you guys get that kicked up a little bit. But is the team leader. And so a generalist who has exposure, provable exposure to budgets and stuff. I mean, I was able to show you guys budgets I worked on and stuff like that. So, if in the interview process, you may want to say, hey, can you show us some stuff, what you've done? But I wouldn't put all the emphasis on that, because you're gonna get people who read it. We read these as applicants, and you're applying for jobs, you read it.
Yeah.
And so if that comes across, then it's like, well, that's not. But if it comes across, because you're still looking for kind of a generalist. That's why, I fit, because I've worked nothing with. And I've never been a department head. I've just always been a manager. So that's kind of how I knew how all this stuff worked, because in small towns, I had no water operations and sewer operations and licensing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
At a 40,000 foot level.
Right.
Not in depth, not like stuff. But I also had, that's why I was able to do this.
Okay.
But it's important that they understand that in the interview process, you want to be clear to get out of the applicant an understanding of what their capabilities and experience is, but I wouldn't weight it so much on that you may lose other.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can have a department head who may have just written their budget, maybe even an assistant department head who is involved in the budget, knows what it looks like, but maybe has not written a budget all on their own or led a budget, but has the ability to understand what goes in it, what the process is, has seen it happen to boards and all that stuff. That's a good start. It's a good start. And that person may have other abilities that are really helpful to this organization. So you're not really losing. But if you're just saying we're looking for somebody who does budgets, then you may carve out other people who may be a good opportunity here to succeed.
Yeah.
But again, one of the best things that you have going for you as far as management is this place only does 4 things. 5 things. Anyway.
Yeah.
And so you have systems in place that they need to come and learn, not build. And that's a great benefit, and that's going to help you stay out of future problems.
Yep. Oh, this is your contract. So the
Yep.
professional development would be respective to whoever.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I had a couple of other things.
Go
Somebody
ahead.
else did. So for your transition, we definitely need a transition plan, something written down. similar to, you know, the La Plata County entrance and who you've spoken to and what the next steps are,
Yep.
maybe, and same with the emergency fire route, the dam, any other special projects that are really critical.
I can put those down. The benefit you have right now is you have department heads. So I never did anything in the back. So all these things that we worked on, I worked on with staff. So they all have a very intimate knowledge of what's going on with the dam, what's going on with the testing. That's what's going on with some of these issues that we're planning for next year's budget or that's in this year's budget. So my memo is not going to be hugely in depth because it'll say what the issue is, but whoever's coming on can talk to staff.
Right.
And staff can give them soup to nuts, which is what I got here. But I think now that you have that staff in place, the memo is not going to look like.
Yeah. I just think it's good to have it written down in case, you know, things happen, something happens, and then these guys are off doing something else and they can't explain it to the new district manager or whoever. And then what about all documents and things? Are those kept on your laptop or do we have a server that all this goes on?
It'll go on to our G drive, which is our local drive. It'll have a thumb drive. I've kept everything I work on in Windows, that I can just put it on a thumb drive and hand it off.
Okay.
But I'll put it on the G drive.
Maybe, is the G drive a local drive?
Yeah, it's our.
It's on an internal server.
Yeah, it's our
Okay.
internal server. It's not for us, it's just for internal.
That was all I had.
Good, good. Keep going. That's good. So to kind of sum it up, you'll put something together. We can review that and get it out there, probably as soon as possible. So we can tap into the resources that are out there.
I'll touch base with Leslie.
See if that would be something she's interested as well,
Yep.
or give us some ideas anyway, costs.
Yep.
My wish is that we find somebody like right away and you can be involved in the interviews. I don't know if that's feasible, if that's.
I like your spirit. Is there a knock at the door?
Right.
It's me. Long way, chase it down.
Well, you never know.
No.
That's it. That would be nice if we could do that.
The answer is always no if you never make it.
Because of the reason you're leaving and stuff, I think that would be an okay thing to do, but you know,
I'm fine.
I wouldn't recommend that all the time.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna be a stranger, somebody needs to call. You know, I'm trying to not leave you guys in. But I do have a hard exit date. And then I'll be consumed with, you know, it's really funny, I've been going to Grand Lake, they're summertime operations, so I start July 1st and July 4th is their biggest day of the year. And I told their mayors, like, I hope you don't mind your city manager walk around like I can't even find the bathroom yet. He's like, no, you're good. So, but that is what I'm walking into, but it's gonna be
A date to start right before.
their biggest day. But no, I mean, you guys can reach out to me. Last question.
Yeah. So as far as, for instance, Shauna, the Director of Administration, what kinds of things should we not ask her to do? I mean, I totally get the management thing. I just want to make sure that, like, if somebody comes and says, you know, I need to speak to so-and-so about whatever, they're gonna have to talk to somebody.
Yeah, so a lot of the questions that we're getting, since we wrapped up, since we got rid of the covenants and we've done a lot of work on the rules and regs, are the general questions about water and sewer and stuff like that get handled. It's 70% here, and if she doesn't know it, it goes to the other department heads.
Okay.
So there's what they're not gonna be able to answer is, you know, I don't even know what you guys can answer. You guys can answer most things because there's kind of compartmentalized questions.
Yeah,
We get the same questions over and over.
Paul can step in.
Paul can answer your legal questions. Don't, you know, she's not your attorney. None of your staff's not your attorney.
You don't even want me to pretend to be that role, but you should take it.
There's attorney-client privilege, right?
Yeah.
That's-
Well,
Back in
no,
attorney,
you can rely on me for IT, right?
I think, filling out grant applications and stuff, I think they could do, but they are constrained with time. They bounce, I think she bounces kind of between 90 and 105% utility. Your other two department heads are just redlined all the time.
Yeah.
Hers goes up and down the schedule, because now she's got a routine that you can find pockets of time, but,
Are we not using the grant writer anymore?
well, that's Leslie. No, I've done most of theirs.
Okay.
I go off with Leslie's list, but no, all the stuff we done for PFAS was a lot of Mark and Rick. I helped out. But no, they're smart people.
Yeah.
And they can get it done.
Something I forgot was the budget and what we need, what our next steps are, when something has to be approved, all that stuff.
So your budget, I can get you a schedule, the state schedule.
We haven't heard any more about the audit yet, have we?
Audit's cruising along. I don't think it's gonna be at the June meeting for approval, but I think it'll be at the July meeting so you're right on time with your audit. Everything's good. We're getting the normal amount of questions for an audit, not batshit crazy ones. We're getting normal audit follow-up questions. So that's great.
We've been able to respond same day he's asking questions. Within just a couple of hours, we've been able to answer his questions.
Because things are filed.
Check an email.
Yep. Yep.
Little things like that.
That's all taken care
So the schedule is probably for you guys is probably gonna be sometime in August, early September. You will sit as a board and go over priorities. You have to have a draft by October 15th, but literally that could be on the back of a cocktail napkin. It has to be a draft. Then you have a public hearing. That's usually in November. You can have it in December, and you have to have it approved, I think, by December 15th or 18th. You have to have it approved by the 15th. You have to have certifications to the county by the 18th so they can levy property taxes. You have to have a copy of your budget to DOLA by January 1 or December 31.
Okay, and then so who would write the draft?
So I'm gonna teach Leslie and Shauna how.
You're looking at her.
Huh?
I said you're looking at her.
So it'll be, hopefully by that time. But if you don't, I'm gonna teach them how the new platform would work, my spreadsheet. It's really simple. If push comes to shove, use what you got now.
Who?
Use what you got now, the template you have now. You can survive another year on that. If it's a break glass situation, just use that, build out, and it's fine. But, when we entered the budget into Excel, I made her do it. So she knows everything about it. And that's why I had her do it.
Yeah, and I just think that really lined out information on what has to happen with the budget and all that stuff is really important.
Totally agree. But if push comes to shove and you gotta go one more year, the person you have now, you're not.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will teach them how my spreadsheet works. It's simple.
I like that. Good.
And we talk a lot at staff level about what may be in the next year's budget and what their needs are and stuff like that. So it's not like they haven't been thinking about
Right. And all along they've been coding and everything, actually. We see that when we sign the checks.
it. Yeah, they're like accurate. And
Yeah, it's, the information is there, right on the invoices.
Well, it's so funny we talk about it. It's like just the simple act of putting the GL codes on with the department heads. They get a receipt. It's cut hours of trying to find stuff. Because now she can go into Gazelle, get the check, get the invoice number, put them together, find information. What the file is. So now it's all being put together and it's
Does anyone else have any questions? Chris, do you have anything?
While Chris is typing, how do you guys feel about having the directors in on the interviews?
I think initially, no.
No?
Not until maybe we narrow it down.
I would bring in, lower level in this particular case, cause I've never seen it really work out well. I've sat in on those, or I've interviewed my boss and it doesn't go well.
Okay.
So the first, I had these guys for a staff meeting, first 5 days I was here. And I took them, I said, this is an interesting position because it's a fulcrum position. Sometimes it feels like I represent labor to management. Sometimes it feels like I represent management to labor. And it's that fulcrum. But I told them, make no mistake. One thing I say today, I work for management. This person you're hiring works for you guys. 100%. And so that's that weird crux of bringing in staff to be part of the interview. Some places do it, some places don't. Right? My personal view is I'm leery of it because sometimes staff, and I don't think this staff would do it, prior staff might have, but what's a benefit to them instead of what's a benefit to the citizens? And that's one of the things I noticed here when I got here was a lot of things were put together for the benefit of the staff, not the benefit of the citizens. And we've tried to rectify some of those things. So this person works for this board and is your employee.
Okay. Makes sense.
Did Chris? No, he said no.
That was a lot of typing, Chris, for no.
Excellent. Gentlemen, anything else?
No.
Sorry to see you go. We really are. Well, I really am.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
See my ass.
Twitter.
Twitter, like I said, it's easy. No, it doesn't.
This is why, I chose you personally, like,
Thank you.
to put that fire out, like you were the right man at the right time.
Thank you.
And I even told somebody who's not sitting in the room, like, it doesn't matter if he does leave in a year or two. Doesn't matter one bit, like, to do what you did, to come in here and do what you did, like, that's why you're here, so.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So much. I did cancel the SDA award though.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for considering. That's super. And we work well together, and I wish you guys the best. I'm convinced we've left it better than we found it. And I think that and I can't say this enough, you got a good crew. They're the ones that are gonna keep you afloat right now. That's good. That's good thinking there, buddy. That's Mints of Canada levels thinking right there.
I'll just move to Grand Lake.
Oh.
You're like owning a property up there.
Maybe they need a grader operator too, just saying.
Well, that being said, any other questions, comments?
You could be the elk herd in town.
I have a question. So what is the process? Cause I was so new, I didn't understand the process of the interviewing. So the recruiting company would come in and send you all who the resumes.
I think they were sending resumes to Mark and Robin and Corey. Yeah.
What we'll have happen is have the resumes and stuff sent here, so that we can review them here.
Okay.
They are confidential.
Yeah.
So that, are we gonna wait for like a batch, or hey, there's a application packet in, or?
Well, I think we do what the guy said, you know, we'll open it till fill, first review will be X, Y, Z. Look at them then.
Yeah.
If we determine cause I don't really wanna interview anybody unless we have 3 potentials.
3 is a good number to have, start with. I mean, there was like,
And if we get like two really, really strong applications, then we proceed with 2, but I wouldn't
I agree.
really move forward unless we had 3 decent ones to.
And when you get to that point, then you contact Paul and go, okay, Paul, let's make sure we know our 14 days and let's make sure we know what questions we can and can't ask. And he'll help you keep safe that way.
There's some
Okay.
stuff there that you have to do.
Yeah.
And posting and stuff like that that needs to get done.
Yep.
For the
So-
interviews,
That's where you.
Flat district thanks. Yes, sir, thank you. Flat district.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and adjourn. And I have the time as 4:58. So meeting adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the.
Man, I've been trying, but